If you've ever tried to eliminate chronic pain, then you know just how frustrating and exhausting it can be to get to the root of the problem. That's why my story of recovering from congenital hip dysplasia and a severe labrum tear may surprise and inspire you. I'm Chris Quinones, and I'm a holistic practitioner in Ayurvedic medicine, and I help my clients with chronic pain and inflammation feel better, move better, and function better, so you can get back to the people and projects that matter most to you. Growing up, I would hike and bike and swim and play tennis and do all kinds of activities. I've always been a very active person growing up and played competitive sports as well. And it was when I started training in the martial art of Taekwondo that I began to really push the needle in terms of my body's ability to meet a high workload and demand. And also, it's when I learned of how to recover from injury. I was a competitive martial artist, and during a competition, I slipped on some sweat on the floor, and it tore my labrum in the hip. And in the process of dealing with that pain and the sciatic pain and the sharp throb and shooting pain down my leg that I had for years, took me a bit of time to figure out. And I started my process with first yoga, and I began studying and practicing the yoga postures, which gave my tissues some time to build functional strength and some more flexibility for movement. And it prepared me for the surgery itself. My tear in the labrum was so bad that the flap of labrum that was left intact was causing me this chronic pain and inflammation. And it didn't matter how much ibuprofen I took or how much icing I did. I was just really plagued by this hip pain. And I couldn't take a drive for more than 30, 45 minutes. I couldn't sit for more than 30 or 45 consecutive minutes without this deep radiating pain in my buttocks that traveled down my leg and caused quite a bit of a disruption in my life. And I did a lot of PT before my surgery to build the strength up and recover quickly. And it was in the process of treating the labrum tear that I discovered I had congenital hip dysplasia. And that was a contributing factor to my risk for that injury. And it also meant that now, without the support of this connective tissue in the joint, I was at a greater risk for speedier degeneration of the joint, osteoporosis, and osteoarthritis. And I remember distinctly my surgeon telling me that he felt a major pelvic reconstruction was the answer for the hip dysplasia to be slowed down in its wear and tear, and that maybe I'd be able to walk after that. Now, this was a devastating blow. I was a competitive athlete all my life with gymnastics and martial arts and tennis. So it was very difficult to hear that I might not be able to walk again. I decided for a lesser invasive approach by going to study yoga. And through that yoga practice, I was able to improve my mobility and improve my responses to stress in my life. And these were two key pillars in recovering from my chronic pain. It was developing functional strength and flexibility, and being able to manage my stress so that the oxidative damage that occurs from stress wasn't speeding up this degenerative process in my joints. The other areas I found resolution was through learning the proper nourishment of my body. And this came through Ayurveda, the Vedic system of self-healing, the sister system to yoga, if you will. And it was through understanding these universal forces and elements that make up the universe and my own physiology that I was able to tweak my already healthy lifestyle and biohack my own circadian rhythms using the laws of nature and the laws of Ayurveda, and learn how to properly nourish my tissues and nourish the nervous system itself through my sensory input, what kind of company I kept, what kind of television programming or entertainment I watched. These kinds of things also are considered nourishment in yoga and Ayurveda. And the helped me with my chronic pain was my ability to increase my digestive capacity and detox the body naturally without any forceful approaches, without fasting, without calorie counting, without starving myself. I was eating the food that I liked. And I learned how to prepare it and when to have it during the time of year when it's best and optimal for my own digestive system to process it and turn it into that high quality rejuvenative tissue. And these pillars are the pillars to focus on with chronic pain and chronic inflammation. And usually you don't have one without the other. And chronic inflammation, as we know now, is leading to more and more autoimmune diseases. And so when we think about what it is that is going to change our experience to pain and change our healing, these areas look at.